Hi, good morning. Today we are going to be looking at coordinates again. We are moving on to make them more mathematical now. Okay, so you need to turn to page 97 in your TJ book. Okay, page 97. Now the learning objective is to be able to find the position of a point using a grid system, which is pretty similar to what we've already been doing, but we make it more mathematical today. It says the position of an object or point can be described by using a coordinate grid system, and the word they use there in brackets is Cartesian, which is a word that means relating to maps. Okay, so this skill that we're learning is really useful for geography as well as for maths. So Mrs. Bates will be delighted next year when you know how to find a point on a map as well. The position of a point is given by stating which two lines the point is on. Now, until now, we've been looking at, well, we have been looking at the two lines, but we've also been looking at a whole square. But this is much more specific. You need to remember the following. Okay, you always start at point 0, which is where the x and the y axis join. Okay, so it's where my fingertips are here, there. Although I think it should be that way for you, I'm not sure. So you always start at point 0 and you go along the corridor and then you go up the stairs. Now, this is something that is slightly probably new today. You always put brackets around the numbers. Okay, so when you write your coordinate down, you do a bracket. Okay, you have a bracket, then you write the number, then you have a comma, and then you have the next number. Okay, so this number here shows that you go from your 0 point along your x-axis, you go 2 along, and then you go 3 up the y-axis to give you that point. Okay, and you're counting lines with this. These numbers go on the lines, not on the squares. That's really important. So if you were drawing a grid, now I know I haven't got squared paper, but you need to make sure that your 0 point, can you see that? Your 0 point is at the end of your x and your y axis, there 0, and then the first line in, can you see the 1 is on the line? Okay, it's not in the square, sorry the light's a bit bright, it's on the line. Okay, the 2 is on the line, and if we were going up, you'd have the same. So the 1 is on the line. Okay, so it's the end of the line. That's really important, because if you put your numbers in the squares, in the boxes, when you come to plot your points, they won't be quite accurate. So you must make sure when you're drawing your grids for some of the later questions that the numbers are at the end of the lines, not in the whole box on their own. Okay, now they're giving you an example, and it says to find the coordinates of point M, you need to start at 0, and you go three boxes along and then go 4 boxes up. Okay, M is at the point 3, 4, or the coordinates are given as M brackets 3, comma 4 brackets. Okay, so hopefully you can all see that. That's in the here. Okay, you do need to be looking at that. Make sure that you understand that. If you don't understand that, you need to make sure you come to the Zoom session so I can help you with that. But it should be very clear from what we've been doing for the rest of the week. Now, there's notes at the bottom, so you need to remember this. It says the point 0 or 0, 0 is called the origin. Okay, the origin. The along arrowed line is called the x-axis, and the up arrowed line is called the y-axis, which we already know that. So brilliant. Your task today is to do exercise 1. Okay, and exercise 1 is page 98 and page 99. I don't think you're going to have time to do any more, so we'll stop at the end of page 99. You've got quite a lot of grids to draw today, so I think that's what will take the time. It's quite straightforward, but it does take time, and I do need to see that you can draw the grids properly. And I'm going to repeat it again. You must make sure you put your numbers at the ends of the lines, not in the squares. Okay, otherwise you won't be as accurate and it won't be correct. So exercise 1, number 1 is very straightforward. It's asking you for the coordinates of those letters. Okay, remember to use the brackets and the commas, and always go along the corridor and up the stairs. Number 2 is the same again. You've got to give the coordinates of each letter on the grid. When you get to number 3, it gives you the coordinates and you have to say what letter is at that coordinate. And 3B is the other way around. It gives you the letter, you have to give the coordinate. Moving on to question 3, you have to look back at the green graph and you have to tell me which points you can join together to make a square. Okay, you have to write down what the letters are and then you have to write down their coordinates. So that question, remember, relates back to the green graph, question 3. Now, when you get on to questions 4, 5 and 6, this is where you are drawing your own graphs. Please use a ruler. I know you may not all have rulers at home, but so do the best you can. If you don't have a ruler, maybe use the edge of a book, but it does make it just much better if you've got a ruler or something straight. For number 4, you've got to draw a grid that's 10 by 10. That's quite big. Okay, and then you've got to plot the points on the grid. And then you've got to join some together to make shapes and tell me what the shape you've made. Number 5, you're drawing a smaller grid, 6 by 6, and you're doing the same thing again. You're plotting points and joining them together to make a shape, and you need to tell me what the shape is. And I think the same again for number 6. Okay, when you can't do number 7, unfortunately, because it's one we would do in the classroom. It's testing your friends. So if we were at school, you'd do a nice lot of coordinates, you give it to your friend and then they would plot it for you and tell you what shape they've made, but not at school, so unfortunately we can't do that. So you stop at number 6, please. Okay, so when you get to the end of number 6, you stop. And that's all for today. Okay, so I recommend that you read through page 97 again, and then your job today is to do page 98 and page 99. All of the questions except for number 7. Okay, if you've got any questions or you're not sure of anything at all, do come to the Zoom meeting. Otherwise, you can crack on and do it on your own. Okay, remember to use a ruler. I'll see you soon. Bye.